Hey there, welcome to the Stupendous Marriage Podcast today. I am Stu Gray, joined by my fabulous redheaded beauty.
Hey, I'm Lisa.
We've got a great question. Let's get right to it. Oh, by the way, before we do that, you can send us your question when you go to stupendousmarriage.com/voicemail. Or you can just go to stupendousmarriage.com, look for the tab on the right-hand side that says send us your question or comment. It's really easy to do. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, let's get to the email. Hey, Stu and Lisa, just started listening to your show. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much. I have a question regarding our married sex life. What do you think about sex toys in the marriage bed to help her reach one or more orgasms?
What did you think about this one, honey?
You know, I think there's a lot of freedom in our marriage, and I think that toys can be a fun thing to introduce if everybody's comfortable with it, if everybody is cool with it. I think there is a caution always that bringing something else into a marriage, it can become an idol, like pornography. You know, porn is usually done by people in a separate place, away from their spouse, in hiding, in secret. It's false intimacy. Maybe a sex toy is not likely to be as a draw, but it could possibly be if you're using the toy away from your spouse, not in the context of sex or intimacy with them. If you're doing it by yourself, it can become an idol. It can be something that if you're relying on it to have an orgasm, if you're relying on it to have fun, if you're relying on it, that's not really true intimacy with your spouse. That's relying on an object.
Yeah. Well, you know, and going back to the pornography piece, which is not what this person asked, but with that, a woman might say, well, my husband wants me to watch it with him so that it can help our intimacy. And that is just wrong. And I don't mean to diss anybody, but that is just wrong. You are bringing somebody else into your marriage bed when you look at that with your spouse or without your spouse.
Sure.
Because that's different than what this is about. You
Sure.
know, with this, let's say a woman is having a problem reaching an orgasm or more than one and she really wants to. If this toy might help that temporarily, that's fine to me.
Oh, yeah.
I also think that it can become a crutch if you're not watchful. And you don't want that to happen where that's the only time that they're able to reach the orgasm is with this one toy or, you know what I mean? And then the other side of it is discernment. I mean, what is God showing you and telling you in your spirit about whether or not you should bring this into your marriage?
Right. It's more about the heart than about the thing. And I think if you communicate it well to each other, you know, hey, this is something that's interesting, I think we have a lot of freedom there. I think anything that's hurtful or harmful to the other person is not healthy. So if it's a weird toy that promotes harm and hurt, I don't know if that's healthy or not. And I think that there are places where you can find not pornographic toys. If somebody deals with the image part of it, you know, sometimes they're packaged in provocative ways. If you can find something that's not provocative, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be helpful. There are places online that sell toys to specifically Christian people or people who don't want to be influenced by, you know, the pornographic images and stuff like that. So being cautious and aware of that piece of the thing too.
Yeah, and again, use discernment and make sure that you're both on the same page, because I think there could be an issue if there's any pressure applied. The husband doesn't feel like the wife is achieving the orgasm that he wants her to, and so he goes out and buys a toy. And so I definitely think if the woman is having the issue with the orgasm, it needs to be something that she initiates or that she is really open to, because then it can almost become a bad topic in your marriage. You know, it can become a bigger issue than what needs to be.
Sure. If I'm trying to pressure you into doing something, that would be more about me than it would be about us and trying to be intimate with one another.
Yeah, and then making sure that if there's an orgasm issue, that it's not related to health or to, I mean, there's all kinds of things that can cause women to not be able to do that. So,
but once again, if you're both cool with it, you know, why not enjoy one another, experiment with one another, and if you've communicated about it and you don't have an issue with it, you don't think there's a problem, if it's not harming or hurtful, hey, there you go.
So that's our answer to that. You know, if you've got a question for us, we would love to answer it on the show sometime. You could get a hold of us easily. stupendousmarriage.com/voicemail is the best place to leave your question, and we look forward to hearing from you.
And if you have a comment about this question, we would love to hear it.
We'll talk to you next time.